start recording on this. Check. Cool. Whenever you are ready, Coop.
Cool. You mind if I do a little advert?
Do it.
Cool. All right. Welcome to Podstache. And before we get going, I just want to put out something so you guys can mark your calendars. October 27th, 2012. Nightmare on Chicago Street. I co-own Death Maidens, which I probably brought up here a little while ago, which is a horror pinup, and we're going to be at Nightmare on Chicago Street this year. Again, this is year number 2. Last year was pretty amazing. I don't know if you guys got a chance to check it out. They had 4,000 people on Chicago Street in downtown Elgin. Isn't that crazy? This year, they added to the budget. They've got a huge budget this year. They're expecting 6,000 plus. And big bands, what is it? Even Vias for Villains is going to be playing there. I know, nice. What's that 80s cover band? Hairbangers Ball will be there and all that good stuff. Yeah. But we've got 2 booths because they have a monster mashup, which is basically it's going to be off to the side, kind of where my apartment is, and that is like kind of like a horror convention. But off the main strip is Nightmare on Chicago Street, where they've got all the vendors, all the beer, the live attractions. Everybody's going to be dressed up, and they kind of make it kind of like a like a zombie apocalypse, and they really do a good job with it. A lot of people working on it. I know a lot of the people that put it together, and they're super stoked. So if you guys get a chance to make it out there, mark your calendars. It is October 27th, Saturday night. It's going to be a lot of fun. So, all right, let's get this episode going. So to my right is...
Riz Lee.
Straight ahead.
Ryan Lee.
All right. So
no, Justin.
No, Justin.
They need to do more stuff like that in downtown Elgin. Because, now that I live out here, because, I don't know, for some reason, when I lived out in the boonies, I'm just ooh, downtown Elgin. Right. But, downtown Elgin, it's a really nice area. And I wish they would, fucking do, because, there's, it's a lot of, just closed shops. And, there isn't,
right.
It seems like it's not, it's, full potential. And I know, they're, building, some, artist lofts or something like that, an art studio and stuff like that, which is fucking awesome. That's a step in the right direction. But it's just totally. It seems like it's not being utilized. Yeah,
it's going to slowly build. You see a lot of older stores now on Chicago Street, which is really cool. It's kind of vintage, old bookstores and old antique stores and stuff like that, right next to all the big clubs, which is funny. But what they're trying to do, I've seen art festivals in the summer and stuff like that. I know they try to utilize that big open grass space right next to the boat. Yeah, I know they hit that up a couple times a year. They got to do more with it. The art space that you're talking about is really neat. I remember I was looking at that 2 years ago when they talked about building it, and that's where ECC used to have a facility. Yeah, and they moved out of that facility because they expanded back. At their home
that's
base.
Right. Yeah, they did have something downtown.
Yeah, I don't know. I know some of the Death Maidens, some of the girls have applied for it. I think they got it in there. But what's kind of interesting is really, really cheap lofts. I think you have a roommate, but it's really big open area. Yeah. And I think she was like, it's $500. So it's $250 per person, and you're in downtown Elgin. And I don't know how it works. To me, in my mind, how I thought of it, I thought it was just going to be big lofts, kind of like how I have in my place. Mm-hmm. And you just have a lot of space so that you can shoot and stuff. But what I think they're doing is they're creating apartments out of it. Yeah. And then it's kind of like a school setting where they have big units that you can freely use and kind of sign up for. Yeah. I think that's how it works. I'm not positive. So in that place, they have 4 studios that you can shoot in whenever you want to or whatever. Huh. And I know that there's a company now collaborating with them that has a green screen and equipment rental, which I think is going to be really neat because it's going to be right downtown Chicago or downtown Elgin. So if we need gear, I can go and grab stuff. So I know that's in the works. Yeah, downtown Elgin is really nice. I like it. I know, again, when I was in St. Charles, I never thought of it too much of it. I was kind of meh, And there are some elements to it that aren't amazing, but I think for the most part, they're continually taking right steps.
I wish Mad Maggies was still open.
Oh, I do too.
Dude,
I've heard some interesting stuff about that though. I heard no, it's great. The guy invested $250,000 into his sound system and his stage setup and everything like that. But from what I heard is that the guy that this could be all hearsay, but I had some buddies that were regulars there, and the owner of the bar when he got his loan, it wasn't like a bank loan. It was like through certain people. And it was, I guess...
And now he has no legs.
No one knows where he's at. Is what I was told. So,
Jimmy Hoffa.
But it was a great venue. It looked really nice inside.
Yeah.
I don't know why he could have brought in, like, that was such a nice venue. You could have brought in, like, for me, like, the first thing that pops into my head is how do you get people to the door? Start getting those cover bands in there. You know, you pay them $2,000-$3,000 a night, but when you have 400 people in a room drinking, you're going to make that money back.
Fuck yeah.
So, like, that's how I would start doing it. I think, Cordon Bleu started doing that, and I think that should be helping them out quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because, I mean, fuck. Well, what's their fucking name? Dude, I'm a fucking space cadet today. What's their name? God damn it. That fucking band. Ugh.
Cover band?
God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm drawing a blank.
I don't know.
Whatever. It's like some bigger band that's way past their heyday, and they were there, and, like, I guess it was packed wall to wall.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like some... whatever. It's one of those bands that was like had like one hit in the 90s, and
right.
I'm drawn.
But it's great for a bar. I mean, when you do that, oh my god, and it's worth that $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever, you know, to get those people in drinking, you know. And Mad Maggie's, like, I remember I went in there and I was like expecting, because I remember when it was really up and running, like when it first started, it was busy and they had a lot of local bands, and then on the weekends they had some bigger bands. And then I went in there like 6 months later. Like, actually, I was, like, on a date, and I was like, yeah, this place is cool. It's Saturday. It's got to be bumping, you know, so let's go. Bumping.
Chirp, chirp. It's got to be bumping.
Bumping.
Pop it. Twist it. Pull it.
So, and then we go in there, and then, like, there's literally, like, this wall that divides the room from the bar, and then on the other side is, like, the stage, and there was no one. It's just dead. It looked like it was just... Like, remember that place in Elbron? Just the bar. It's just, like, that little long ways bar. And it was just the...
Oh, Knuckleheads?
Knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Like, they utilized Mad Maggie's like they utilized Knuckleheads.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because how much space do they have in Mad Maggie's?
Yeah, there's a lot of space in Mad Maggie's.
And then you have that open terrace out there. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, that's such a waste. I know Prairie Rock out here has some issues, too. Like, Prairie Rock's issues is, I think a guy bought it, revamped the whole thing, and then the city's saying, well, you have a noise ordinance. And... So now he can't really do the live band thing. He does like acoustic sets and stuff like that, which sucks because that means you can't bring entertainment into the bar.
Yeah.
So I know he was having some problems there. So, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it builds.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, especially now that we live out here, and it's walking distance.
I know.
Which is
I love that.
Great, dude. You know, I mean, I've never had that luxury, you know, to where I could just walk to downtown. You know, you can't do that when you're out in like Lily Lake or St. Charles.
I know. You have to drive everywhere.
You have to drive at least 50 minutes to get anywhere.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's nice for a change. Like, you know, like I remember like when we first moved out here, like I was able to walk to a bank, to my bank for the first time. I'm like, oh my god, like
it's nice, isn't it? I love the idea of walking around like that, not needing the car.
Yeah.
Although we still live in that place where you do, you know, to really do what you're going to do, you need the car. But if you're going to go out drinking, you know, like all the bars are just right down on the strip there, and it's nice.
Speaking of walking, do we want to do Alfaro's after this?
Ooh, we might have to.
Yeah, that sounds good.
I'm down for a burrito.
Rock and roll.
All right.
Rock and roll.
Anywho.
But Tech Tuesdays. So we were talking about...
Oh, yeah. Actually, go ahead and start off. Can I have some of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah, I'm going to grab a glass. The whiskey.
See, it was interesting because, to fill you in, Coop and audience, iOS 6 came out today.
Okay.
So, you have an Android, right?
I do have an Android.
Okay. So basically, the new iOS came out for Apple devices, you know, the iPhones and the iPad.
Okay.
And basically, there's some, from the general consensus is there's a lot of, like, small improvements. Like, you know, a lot of the improvements are under the hood, so things run quicker, smoother, et cetera, et cetera. One of the biggest things is the fact that, you know, Apple's trying to get away from Google products.
Right.
Because I don't know if you know that
Android.
Apple and Samsung were in a court case recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, Apple is slowly trying to get away from Google products. So with iOS 6, the map app is something that Apple built from the ground up.
Okay.
So, basically now, there's turn-by-turn directions. There's some other gee whiz.
Oh, so I think that was the biggest thing that people were pissed off about for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but it's interesting because I didn't realize that iOS 6 came out today. Because earlier this morning I was working on jailbreaking my phone.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't upgrade. I just have the jailbroken stuff. So now I have an iPhone 4 that has Siri, which I haven't really used too much.
Oh, I haven't even tried that yet. Siri's supposed to be smarter now.
Yeah. So but on the other hand, Brian has upgraded to iOS 6. So.
Okay. Ever since they announced the iPhone 5 release, I'm doing some more research. I used to be I really like the idea of doing those shorts. YouTube is huge. And I started going back and kind of looking at these people that I really admired when I was younger, thinking about doing some more YouTube stuff. Mm-hmm. So I went back, and it's 3 years later, which is kind of interesting because they really they're still there, and they've got such a big presence, and they're doing some interesting stuff in and around YouTube. But so many, I never realized how iPhone nuts some people are.
Oh yeah. And just apple nuts.
Or apple nuts. And I don't... apple nuts.
That sounds delicious.
Yeah. I want some apple nuts right now. Sorry.
I don't understand...
apple nuts.
Apple nuts. I think I will probably go over to iPhone 5 when this contract ends. Mm-hmm. And I'm cool with that. I'd probably go to Verizon, though, because I think Verizon's 4G network is better because I'm on AT&T. However, one of these guys, he was such a nut for these iPhones. He has every generation, and he keeps them, as a showcase.
Shut up!
He keeps them as a showcase on his mantle.
Weird.
Isn't that weird? He's got every generation. And...
what a waste of money.
Yeah, right?
But I think, when I look at these iPhones and, iPhone 5, they've been talking about the iPhone 5, the improvements don't seem valid enough to have another iPhone, at least in my opinion.
I think it depends where you're coming from.
Yeah.
With the people who still have, because there's some people that I work with that have, the iPhone 3G, the 3GS. For them, the iPhone 5 is a huge improvement. And I'd say the iPhone 4, you can kind of go either way, but if you have the iPhone 4S, it's not really worth it.
Yeah, for me, I have no urge at all whatsoever to get the 5.
Yeah,
right.
Because I have the 4S, and
and I'm kind of the same boat. I have the iPhone 4, and it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the idea of going to that company just because they're so not private. Private's not the good word.
It's very closed ecosystem.
Closed ecosystem. That's
proprietary.
Good one. Proprietary. There
that
you go.
Too.
and that bothers me to no end. I don't like that at all. I've never liked Mac. A very PC guy, and it just, I feel like they just want to get a new name out there. Let's do iPhone 5. Okay.
Yeah.
So
it just, with all their products, with the iPhone, iPad, iPod, their laptops, desktops, whatever, they're on a regular basis that something comes out every year.
Okay.
So with the iPhones and iPods, they come out every September.
Okay.
And it's each product in their lineup comes out at a certain time per year.
Oh, okay.
So
it's funny too because I was watching their kind of their, not commercial, but I was watching online. Just basically they're, I guess, a commercial where they're just totally just talking about the product. It cracks me up. They're just like, we've totally re-engineered, redesigned it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, it's.
And they say that every year.
It's thinner.
Someone was saying it's a new type of metal and it doesn't break. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Really, I'm pretty sure I throw it against that wall. It's
exactly.
I mean, I get it. It's thinner. Screen's bigger. Cool. And
it's supposed to be noticeably lighter, but I haven't played with it in person, so I don't know.
And kudos to them. I know there's a lot of fucking engineering. Because it's pretty fascinating just how much, people can't see. I'm holding this thing up right now.
No, they can.
They can.
Oh, okay. Just how much engineering I mean, basically, everything that I can do with this, has like there's a stat. Basically, it's like 1,000,000 times the power as like a computer like from the 50s, or it's like it's something along those lines.
I actually looked it up today. The newest iPad is as fast as the what were they called? The PowerBooks, like the old Mac laptops from a couple of years back that had the G4 processors. And it's like, these laptops from a couple of years ago,
right?
They used to run, Final Cut and all these like intensive apps,
right?
That's how powerful the iPad is now. This super thin device that you can just throw in a backpack or whatever,
right?
Yeah. So like, I mean, definitely kudos to them, and that's amazing.
It's amazing,
amazing ingenuity and technology and all that shit. But it's just like for them, like we've totally just rebuilt this from the ground.
The lens is sapphire.
It's just,
what's Jimmy Kimmel? He did a video.
I saw that. That's amazing.
He took the iPhone 4S, right? And he took it out and he had somebody kind of show it off to people as the iPhone 5, and people were like, "Oh, this is amazing!"
That's fucking funny.
Well, and it was hilarious because there's one guy who's like, "Oh yeah, I have the iPhone 4S, and this feels, this definitely feels lighter." It's like it's the same phone.
That's too funny.
So I just don't like the fact that everybody's jumping on that bandwagon.
There's definitely fanboys.
It's huge.
Yeah.
So it's. I don't know, and it's because obviously my laptop needs replacing.
We're recording this with a Mac now.
Yeah. Actually, no. This is this is with a computer that was struck by lightning. But, whatever. Yeah, because I actually have a friend who is experimenting with. She used to have a laptop, but now she's experimenting with just doing all of her computing needs on an iPad, and that's something I've kind of toyed with. Because it just. To have something so thin and
awesome.
Portable.
It's an awesome thing. I think it's perfect for a seller. If someone's selling something or a band, like if you could walk in with a press packet or something like that, all on the iPad with videos and like, here's some music. Like,
well, yeah. And the other day,
promoter, I guess.
And the other day, we talked about as a photographer selling your photos through that. That'd be cool.
Well, I thought maybe I'm way off. I thought iPad didn't have flash capability, or is that old?
No, it still doesn't.
But isn't that kind of a big deal, or no?
No. I mean, for internet stuff, kind of, but for everything else, not really.
Okay.
Right.
So,
but yeah, it's an amazing tool. But like, I couldn't justify $500 for that. Fucking
camera. That's so expensive.
Because the other thing too is I'm looking at it like if I could take that and make that like a computer tablet where like I could do real Photoshop on it, not like the Photoshop they want to give you on it.
Yeah.
That would be kind of cool. Like, say if you're, you can turn it into like a Wacom almost.
Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome.
Well, I think you might be able to, kind of.
Yeah, might kind of, yes.
Because I could be totally wrong, but I think they have Adobe Lightroom for iPad, but I don't know if they have. I'm sure they have some version of Photoshop. But I don't think you can do as many like layers and masks and go crazy.
Well, even if you could like link in a keyboard to it so that you could do it.
You can, yeah.
So
because I actually saw some people at LCU do that, where they'll just have like a keyboard that plugs into the connecting port in the bottom.
Right.
So
that's the one thing that miffs me about the new iPhone.
Okay.
Is how
new connector.
The port where you like charge it or whatever, it's smaller.
Oh, right.
They've changed it completely. Which would excuse me. Which, I don't know, that just kind of irks me because now...
I mean, yeah, it's... On the one hand, yeah, like all these devices, these iHomes, these iRocks, whatever the hell, they're not going to work anymore. But on the other hand, I mean, they're going to make adapters.
Yeah.
And...
But it's just one more fucking thing that you got to buy.
Right? Though, what really boggles me about it is not just that they changed it, but the fact that it's still USB 2.0. So it's not really all that much faster. So it's kind of like they changed it, and there's no real
reason for it.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, God, fucking shit. I just started farting around with it. Thought I heard something.
People are talking outside.
Yeah. and I brought up jailbreaking iPhones before.
Uh-huh.
The one I don't know if I'd call it rumor, but because the other day at work, there's this girl who's in high school. She's like, "Yeah, I want to break my jailbreak my iPhone," and she's very not tech savvy.
Right.
So I was like, "Really? Why would you want to do that?" And she goes, "Well, I heard that when you jailbreak your iPhone, you can get music and apps for free." I was like, "No, that's so not the case."
Right.
So I don't know. I think some people hear jailbreak and think that it's like something magical, and it really isn't.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of cool.
Yeah. What is it? What's that thing that they did? Like, I still haven't done this for the camera yet because I always get worried, like, because it sounds like you can just fuck your camera up, your Canon camera, if you do it. Like, what is it, like?
Magic Lantern.
Yeah, I haven't done that.
In the early days, yes, it could fuck up your camera, but I guess they've gotten to a point now where it doesn't replace the firmware; it's just an add-on.
Okay.
So the original camera firmware is still there, but they just kind of add something, so you get all these extra features.
Well, it's nice to be able to see your audio volumes and stuff like that.
I've looked through some of the stuff that it adds
to
your camera. It's tempting.
I just get worried because also you void your license with Canon, right? If upload that.
I don't know if you do. Okay. Because now, since it's just an add-on, it doesn't replace the firmware. I think you might be okay.
Okay.
Because from what I've heard, you just load it onto your SD card or CF card or whatever.
Okay.
And it just runs off of that, so you don't actually have to load it onto the actual camera. Whatever.
I have a question, and I wonder if you guys could help me out with this because I've been looking at originally we've got the girls doing some stuff with online video, and I was like, you guys should go. A year ago, I was looking at flip cameras because I own several of them. I love them. They're beautiful little things that you've got great audio.
How many is several?
3.
Okay.
And
I have 11 of them.
I have a collection. I've got every single series. But I was telling them to go out and get them because they were selling them on B&H for $30.
Yeah.
And now I wish I would have fucking bought all of them because now
all of them.
Yeah. Because now eBay and all these things they're selling them for $150.
Really?
Because you can't buy them.
Oh, you can't get them anymore.
You can't get them anymore.
Huh.
So the value of them has gone up. But and at one point you were buying them for $20-$30 and they're just offloading them,
Yeah, just trying to get rid of them.
But now I'm looking around and the Bloggy's still around, but I haven't seen any really crazy updates on it. Your Kodak is still around, but I haven't seen them really update too much. There's third-party companies that are doing some updates, but I'm not seeing that blogger-style camera being made anymore. And it's boggling my mind because it's such a cheap little thing. Mm-hmm. But is your iPhone video getting better? Are people using that more? Or why?
I mean, I've seen some pretty impressive stuff being filmed with the iPhone.
Okay.
So, I mean, I forgot when they switched to 720 to 1080. I'm pretty sure yours is 1080. I'm not sure what mine is.
Yeah.
I think mine might be
there was
720.
a movie. There's a movie that's out that was shot completely with.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few videos I've seen online that are shot completely with the iPhone.
Okay.
I mean, as long as your lighting is good, I mean, it's gonna look good.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I could totally I could totally see myself if I had an external mic thing mounted on there. I could totally see myself shooting drum videos with
that.
this.
See, and that's cool. My only worry with it is battery. That's one thing I love about the Flip. You got a battery? Throw fucking double A's in them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With these, their batteries are expensive, and how would you charge them outside of the phone? You know what I mean?
So, I mean, if you're going to be doing something crazy long, I think you just have to plug it in
Yeah.
while filming, which isn't the worst thing.
No, it's not. But yeah, I was noticing it's dying. These cameras are just going away. Mm-hmm. I'm also noticing some of the higher end vloggers that are doing this is going to the power shots and stuff like that, the actual full cameras and stuff, which they look good. The quality looks good, but it's got to be annoying. Instead of holding something like your phone, like this, you're holding
but I mean,
camera.
Point and shoots are getting so small nowadays, though.
That's true.
So, I mean, granted, they're usually thicker than a phone, but I mean, they're usually not much bigger. I mean, they still fit in a pocket.
Right.
Well, and it seems to me, I mean, I'm not kind of in that whole field, but it seems to me handheld cameras are dying. Am I right? Or
yeah,
I mean, unless you're shooting a movie, But
yeah, they're definitely less popular.
Yeah, because it seems like everyone just films
with their phone.
with their phone nowadays,
yeah.
or like cameras like that you guys have.
Yeah.
Digital SLRs have definitely exploded.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Exploding into new markets.
Well, it's like straight from like a promotional video. Exploding.
It is. We filmed it, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Expanding.
Yeah. And really quick, so I'm sure it won't be much interest to anyone else, but did you see both Canon and Nikon came out with new full-frame cameras?
No.
Canon came out with the 6D, which
I heard
is...
about that, yeah.
Okay, and then Nikon came out with the D600, which is
Right.
so similar, but but they're both basically both companies that like foray into entry-level full-frame cameras. So both are...
Wasn't the 5D Mark II, that's not full frame? I thought that
no,
was full
it
frame.
is. And that's what people are kind of confused about is the fact that the 5D Mark II is similar in price to the new 6D. So...
Oh, so like this new one's the same price as 2 generations back. Why is it?
Yeah, but I mean, there's some...
What do they want?
There's some different features.
What do they want for
stuff.
the 6D?
I want to say it's like $2,099 or something like that.
That is cheap for that camera.
Yeah.
yeah. Like I don't know anything. I'm like,
The 5D Mark III was what, 6? No?
Not that much. No.
I know the 5D Mark II was somewhere in that area.
of course, I have no room to talk. So I'm the guy who's like gonna like drop a shit ton of money like on drum stuff.
Yeah.
Well, but you said that whole kit was only a G, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It's just a G, bro.
A G?
Bumping.
A bone?
No, the 5D Mark III is I think around $3,000.
Okay.
It's very rare to see a camera that's around $6,000. That's like the 1DX.
Oh, okay.
You know, the camera that can do everything.
Right.
That can X-ray your arm or something.
Okay. So, but interesting. I'll have to start looking into the Mr. Canon 6D. Not that I would go out, or not that I'd go out and buy it.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't afford it.
I'd just steal it.
Yeah.
Speaking of cameras,
Yeah.
we should probably whore ourselves out. Oh, not really, but because Christopher, because we were bored.
Yeah.
And it's funny because he's a photographer,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a drummer.
Huh?
So just off a whim, I'm like, oh, dude, you want to take some pictures? Of me and my new drum set. So we took some pictures, just kind of like hey, let's kill some time.
Uh-huh.
And we took some pictures, and it ended up on because it's a Mapex drum set,
Uh-huh.
and it ended up on Mapex's like main page,
Really?
for
Yeah.
Facebook, and
That's
like dude, it
awesome.
had like it's like
It was over 350 last time I
yeah,
looked.
over
Likes?
350 likes,
Yeah.
and like it was hilarious.
That's
dude.
awesome, man.
So
Was
it
that
was
the one
cool.
where you were holding the bass drum?
Yeah, the one where I'm like hugging it.
Oh,
and
that's
stuff.
my favorite one. That's
Oh,
good.
dude, so like it's too funny, dude. So
That's cool.
it's just kind of funny, just something that you do on a whim, just
Yeah.
to kind of kill time, and then just
Right.
like it reaches this other outlet.
Well, it looked
Yeah.
really good, and you did a very good job on
Yeah.
the lighting.
Well,
on it,
yeah,
so.
and to me it was hilarious because I'm not even on Facebook, and yet photos I took have like a bazillion likes. I was like, yeah. So
yeah, that
but
is
yeah,
cool.
I think we are good for this episode.
Sweet.
So like you said, we're good for this episode. We'll be right back.
See you later. Hey.
Oh, dude, I got to show you. What is this? I got to show you what I ended up with.